6:30. We'll call the meeting to order. We could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And next on the agenda is to take a moment of reflection. If you're the praying kind, if you could say a little prayer for the safety and health of our township residents. Also, for the firefighters who were ambushed out in Idaho last week, and for all of the people in Texas who are suffering a tremendous loss to their property. If we could just take a moment. Thank you. Next thing on the agenda is a recognition of a citizen. And I will just take a moment to recognize our township resident and fixer, Mr. Kevin Billidson. On behalf of Bedford Charter Township, I would like to extend our sincere gratitude and recognition for your ongoing support and willingness to lend a helping hand whenever our township is in need. Your thoughtful contributions, especially your recent purchase of a microwave for the fire department personnel at Station 3, have not gone unnoticed. It's often the small acts of kindness, like ensuring our team has the means to prepare a warm meal and even enjoy some popcorn during well-deserved breaks, that have the biggest impact on morale and well-being. Your consistent efforts to fix what needs fixing and your generosity in going above and beyond exemplify the true spirit of community. We're fortunate to have residents like you who care deeply and act selflessly. Thank you again for your continued support and dedication to Bedford Charter Township. Your actions speak volumes, and we are truly grateful. Kevin Billidson. Thank you. You're always so helpful.
You know, the
Thank you very much.
Hey, Jerry, you want a picture?
Oh, yeah. Here, Kevin.
Taking it back already.
Hold up. Thank you. Thank you. Honestly. Got my pen. What I'm gonna do with them. Okay. Not marking all these. Thank you. Next on the agenda is a supervisor report. Gonna be pretty short. Mostly because I can't read my writing. I will say that last month there was a little bit of misinformation regarding the 800 megahertz scanners that was given to us. I did get a couple phone calls when our fire department went to the 800 megahertz and they inquired whether the old scanners would work with these 800 megahertz, and they absolutely do not. There are 800 megahertz scanners that are available for purchase, but they are pricey, is my understanding, and the old analog will not work. So I just wanted to clear that up. Another thing I wanted to let everyone know, I know a lot of people watch things on Facebook. Facebook is a little easier, I think, than going to a website for some. If you click on or look up Calhoun County roads, you will get at least weekly updates there on their Facebook page. They did just recently chip seal Collier to Baseline and Hamilton. Yeah. And they did say it will be fog sealed, and I'm saying 3 to 5 weeks because it was about 4 to 6 weeks last week. So they did say during the fog sealing process that you would probably want to avoid those areas during that time. So that'll be 3 to 5 weeks, and they will post it on their Facebook page when they're going to fog seal it. So keep up following the Calhoun County Road Commission on Facebook. Just to let you know, we're still updating policies, writing policies and updating them. Last week, the fire chief position was posted. Our fire chief retired now. Chief Kokensparker is in the back of the room, and he had a nice celebration for his retirement after 58 years of service to our township, which is unbelievable, really. Thank you, Chief, again for your service. July, we celebrated Independence Day last week. Of course, this next year is going to be a lot of celebrations working up to our 250th birthday. National Hot Dog Day is next Wednesday. If you didn't know that, who doesn't love hot dogs? And July is also Minority Mental Health Awareness Month. Our first budget meeting will be internal on July 21st. After that day, we're going to be setting some budget meetings. This is just to really go over kind of what we need and where our spending goes. And we're going to have a budget for 2026 that we'll all be able to read and understand, and all those line items that you might see will have an explanation so we can all really understand it better. So it'll be there, and we're going to start working on it here in a week or so, a little over a week. And that's all I have. Next on the agenda is the quarterly treasurer's report.
The quarterly treasury report is from Michigan class. We voted on it back in January. It was approved. Year to date, we have earned $42,141.11. Again, that was started on January 27th. And obviously everybody has been receiving their tax bills. Those are all out now. So that is pretty much all I have for it.
Have been busy.
I have been busy.
Yes. Thank you. Any questions for the treasurer? All right, next on the agenda is approval of consent agenda items. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second. All right, thank you. And discussion.
Hold on, we haven't roll called in yet.
Yeah, we have.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that call to order.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Supervisor Godey, here. Clerk Faracco, here. Treasurer Davis, here. Trustee McKay,
Here.
trustee Menke,
Yes.
trustee Blanchard,
Here.
trustee Hoskins, here. 7, we have a quorum.
All right, now we're back to the approval of the consent agenda item. Been motioned, it's seconded. Is there any discussion?
Yes, I have an amendment
Okay,
that I need to make under 11D. As requested by our legal counsel in regards to the item number 12 before it, or after it, I should say. As a adjacent property owner to the Springbrook Consumers Energy Project, I have to seek your approval to excuse myself from the vote. And so that needs to be a motion and approved per our attorney's request. And I thought 11D was the best spot for it.
and that's to abstain from that vote.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Any other items?
On the agenda, I have a numbering. So item number 12, it's resolution 0708-2520.
A, 12A, 7/8/25/20. Which makes B turn to 21 instead of 20. And it falls to the next two. So C will be 22, D would be 23.
So this needs to change to what? 7/8/25/21.
21.
D, did you say 23?
D is 23.
Okay.
Anything else? Okay, we have a motion of support to have the approval of the consent agenda items. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Next is public comments on agenda items only. Just a reminder that rules are posted in the lobby for public review.
All right, I'll try and get it all in last night. I will say I did have trouble opening the packet online. So I don't know, some of this may be covered in discussion anyway, but I just wanted to get up and make a few comments. As far as the park and recreation goes, we're gonna get a report on that, it sounds like. I recently spent a little bit of time at the park and there was 6 or 8 different families there, really struggling with our tall grass that we have around the perimeter,
Which
especially the folks that were trying to fish out of the creek. You know, so I guess, you know, I'm hoping that the reports kind of start, you know, inquiring what the residents might like to see, you know, now that we're moving forward in maybe a slightly different direction, I guess.
That's at Skeet Scareman?
Yeah.
Park? Okay.
The next item would be the township vehicle is again on the agenda to discuss. I didn't see anything in the packet, so I don't know if there's any information that is going to be shared. But I guess, again, I just want to reiterate my concerns on, you know, I know we're not roll calling that tonight, but before we just go spending money on a new vehicle for the township, you know, are we keeping track of the mileage correctly? You know, is it charged, you know, appropriately, like when we have training and stuff like that? Like those are items that are budgeted in. So it's not necessarily a burden for us. Like if we had to take a look at, maybe we're not budgeting appropriately because we're, you know, doing more trainings or things like that. Or like, you know, like the blight, you know, official and whatnot, I assume is maybe have some miles there. You know, there should be a corresponding, you know, complaint or something. So I guess I just want to make sure we're taking a look at that before we, you know, roads, you know, I am about that. So as far as spending the money, then also the columbarium, again, very much in favor of that. I think that's going to be a great thing. I would like to, I guess, you know, we don't have any information on what those look like or potential placement. I know we're probably very early on in the stages of that, but you know, that certainly is something that I think the residents would like to at least hear about, as we go on as far as that goes. And then the last thing, real quickly, the office manager zoning administrator position. The job description definitely seems to be pulling from many different areas. And I certainly would be concerned about the possible disservice to the residents by not having a single person dedicated to that, you know, specific task. I definitely have a little concern over the items that were listed in the code and zoning and code enforcement. I would encourage us to, you know, take a look at the zoning ordinance reference section 1405. There are 8 items listed there. Those are all very in-depth items. So I definitely have some concerns about, you know, one person doing 4 or 5 jobs.
Thank you. Any other public comments on the agenda items?
Ooh, I don't make a look. The
One thing I think, I'm not sure, you know, sometimes there are some things that people might want to talk about before you approve them on the consent agenda. So I guess I'm not sure 8 and 7 might be switched on the agenda, just because that would kind of make more sense for the public to be able to comment on something. Even though it's consent agenda items, sometimes there's some things that creep in there that might want to be talked about. So something to think about on the order of the agenda items. When it comes to creating new positions, you know, creating an office manager again is, I mean, it's almost like we're skirting sounds like we're doing something different now. Is it, I guess, part of the code that allows you to hire an office manager, or, you know, any position you can create. But I guess I haven't seen the positions stuff either. The thing online wasn't working. We couldn't open the packet. So I don't know what happened with the packet, but that also is an issue when it happens last, you know, the day of the meeting. You know, we've been looking for something for the meeting and haven't had an opportunity, and just came out today. So, but office manager and zoning administrator, I thought Cody was a building and zoning administrator, but we had a building and zoning administrator. That's what the position was. That's, so I'm confused as well. We're changing positions now. Are we moving it all around? But again, we're making another position that kind of protects the people that are hired by the people, elected by the people, the ones that should be accountable directly to the people. The bigger the government we create, the more positions we create that hides those individuals back in their world and has some unelected hired bureaucrat that we pay a lot of money, way more money than we should. $60,000 plus full benefits, I'm sure, is what it is. I mean, it's ridiculous. This is, again, $100,000 that costs total to the township. I'm not sure you guys are fully aware and telling that to the public. It's a full benefits package with everything included in that. That costs the township over $100,000. Okay, so it's not just $60,000, and okay. And then another, just a permitting specialist for at least it's an hourly rate for that one. Again, you know, we're just throwing money at people to just come in here and, you know, they're going to fight tooth and nail for their job and say that, yeah, it's needed. And that, I mean, they're not going to be truthful because they're getting paid. They're getting taken care of really well to be that barrier between you guys.
Any other public comments on the agenda items? Okay, next is police and fire report. Officer LaValle.
All right, so we took approximately 416 calls for service in the township last month for June. We took a break-in and entering incident in the area of Swedish Drive. There's an individual that broke through a front door. We were able to ID the suspect, and we submitted our report to the prosecutor's office for a warrant for him. There was a larceny in the area of West Michigan Ave for a cell phone. Someone left their phone on their back bumper and it was taken, but we were able to recover it with the good technology we have now. We took another larceny report in the area of Harmonia Road. There was fishing poles, bicycles, a kitchen counter that were taken from inside of a camper. At this time, the suspect is unknown and we're still investigating the incident. We had over 13 arrests in the township last month for domestic assaults, PPO violations, operating while intoxicated incidents, malicious destruction of property, as well as trespassing incidents. And then I'm sure you guys seen over the news or on Facebook, one of my coworkers, officer, pulled a traffic stop in the Verona Road area. The suspect ended up fighting with the officer and took off in the vehicle. Another officer found the vehicle in the area of P Drive North and North Bedford Road. and attempted to make a stop on there, and that vehicle crashed out in the area. And the suspect fled on foot. And with the help with our canines and drones, we were able to get the suspect in custody in the area of Kirby Road. Busy month.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you so much. Next is the fire report, Assistant Chief Woodward.
Good evening, everybody. Everybody has their fingers and toes, so I guess it was a good and safe 4th of July. That was fairly uneventful for us, which is, thank you, everyone. We did have a pretty eventful June. It was full. One of the things that I wanted to talk about is the number of trees that fall down in our township. They are full of ants. We are full of ants, and we apologize for the inconvenience of making you go different routes, but the majority of them come down with power lines. And we have to wait for Consumers Energy to get there, make it safe, so then we can open the road up and get safe passage for everybody. Excuse me. One of the other things I'd like to touch on is through the state of Michigan, we have smoke detector installation program free of charge. And I created a sign-up sheet that will be up front. Just need your name, address, and phone number, and we'll be in contact. We are approaching 50 homes that we've installed smoke detectors, and we'll put one in every bedroom, one on each level, and at least one combination smoke detector carbon monoxide detector. Again, those are free of charge. They're through the state of Michigan. And it's a nice way to be in touch with the community, with the citizens in different scenarios other than traumatic type things. It's a nice way to get to meet people. One of the other initiatives that we're going to start is contacting the churches and the service organizations and offering hands-only CPR for those organizations. Calhoun County has a very low survival rate for CPR. The more people that we can get invested in doing the CPR, the earlier we get that done, the better the survival rate is. And with hands only, you don't have to put your mouth on anybody. There's a lot of oxygen in your blood. We just need to get it moving through. So we'll be reaching out to those. And we're just trying to move forward and get involved in the community as best we can. Anybody has any questions? I love them.
Thank you. Next is legislative. I don't see Representative Frisbee or Commissioner Strobridge. Am I right? I missed him last month. He was right in front of me. So, okay. Next is on the agenda is our discussion items. And the first is the Parks and Rec Committee. And I did have Deputy Supervisor McCarty talking about that, but of course, Trustee McKay can join him. We talked last month about getting a meeting together. Has there been a meeting?
About half the commission got together to plant flowers last month. Unfortunately, all but one pot of flowers has been stolen since. I mean, the pot's still there. People just rip the flowers out and steal them during events. And then no day has been set for the next meeting quite yet. Still working out on everyone's schedule. It's been hard to get someone responsive, but more than likely it'll be Mondays or Tuesday nights. Well, not sure if it'll be at the park or here, but I will let you guys know.
Okay. Any questions about the Parks and Rec Committee? Do you have anything else to add? No?
Sorry about the flowers.
That's,
It happened last year too.
Yeah,
I know.
that did.
I don't understand it unless there's goats there. Goats
Place
been.
with cigarette butts, so I doubt it was goats.
Next for a discussion item is fire station number 1. Just to give you an update, I reached out to Land Bank, who's done the asbestos check. There is asbestos there. Phase 2 for that is going to be handled throughout July and August. September will be the asbestos and hazmat assessment. October and November is the abatement of those, and then November and December will be the demo of fire station number 1. So it is a good time, with budget talks coming up. We're gonna have a fire station to build, beginning in the new year. And, so I just wanted to give you that update. I wasn't very happy with that update. It just seems like it's taking a long time for that, but, we'll get there, I guess. Next is, the township vehicle discussion. Trustee Hoskins.
Yes, thank you. Starting last month, we kind of opened this up. Doing some research, our mileage is a little high in my opinion. We're getting a little costly on mileage. Doing my research, we're over $8,000 in mileage for this year and last year. So in that, Terry's doing some research as well, as far as talking to the insurance company to see about the price of the costs to add the new drivers on that, as far as records, everything like that. Records, I reviewed some records. I think we could do better on our record keeping on mileage, as far as where we're going, where we're coming back to. Again, the vehicle is just transparency. Our blight officer, he goes into kind of some interesting situations. So I think if we have a vehicle that does say who's coming on the property, I think that's a good thing for our township. So again, we're kind of in the discussion. It's going to be next month that we'll bring it back. But I think the mileage, comparing mileage to what 70 cents a mile is what we're paying right now. So that's the state requirement. So with that amount, I think moving forward with the vehicle is going to be something that we could open up.
I did speak with our insurance, agent yesterday. It was a short conversation. We're gonna have a longer talk next week. But he said it would not be as expensive as we think.
Yeah.
To insure the vehicle. We just, of course, have to have a policy on who will be driving it, running their driving records, those kind of things. And then as far as putting, stickers on the side, that will not be much of a cost at all. And we do, because we're a municipality, qualify for my deals, a discounted place to get vehicles. So, and I've got a very good contact there, and we can work with him for sure.
Yeah, and again, the shared calendar to kind of put in who's going to take the car
Sure.
in and out, and
Right.
just a little more transparency with that, I think.
Yeah. And personally speaking, we did have somebody from the township come to our house. Not the blight, just to say. It was actually for we had a new central air put in last year. But when he pulled in, there was no identification who it was, or, and I think with our blight especially, it's important that people know that they're from the township officially and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
there are a couple other things to consider. There's the upkeep on the car. That's gonna have to be maintained, and the initial outlay to purchase the car. So
That's my concern
All
as
things to
well, with
consider.
building the new fire station, needing the new roof, and doing what we're doing at the cemetery. I think that we should probably let the dust settle for a little while and then maybe revisit it next year. I think there needs to be more research on how much everybody does with their mileage. Blight could possibly even have the magnetic on his car. I just think we should push it out and not jump right into it right at this moment until we see further down the road what everything's looking like.
Can I ask, what is this $400, this negative $400, monthly insurance stipend?
So if you choose not to take insurance through the township here, then you get a monthly $400 each person here. Is that correct, Terry? Yeah.
that's correct.
So the 400, when I was going through the treasurer's mileage and I seen the check for 543.15, and I looked into that further, it had just accidentally, which is very easy to do. The 400 was added into that. So it was actually only $143.15 for mileage. So Joyce was going to move that 400 back to the monthly insurance stipend, correct, Joyce?
right,
Yeah.
the check was made out for two things at once, but
Correct.
posted to the correct accounts. But the check total
Yes.
was 527.
Thank you. I was confused with that.
Mhm.
Any other discussion? Next is the fire chief position. We did post the fire chief job description last week and are accepting applications from qualified individuals through close of business this Friday. And we'll be scheduling interviews next week. We'll have to have that as a special meeting, just to let everyone know. It would be an open meeting, obviously, for the board to interview the fire chief. One of the things that they recommend through the Michigan Township Association is really making sure that you do your due diligence in naming a fire chief. So that is where we're at.
So you said close the day Friday.
Correct.
Will somebody be here all day Friday? then,
Yeah,
or-
it was
Okay.
to email.
Oh, okay,
their-
email it.
Email their cover letter and resume and certifications to me.
And that's on our website and everything, correct?
Yes, it is. Yep. All right. Next on the agenda is unfinished business. And unfinished business, we talked about the roof. And on it is a motion to award the bid for roof replacement on the Township Hall here at 115 South Gildert's Drive. Is there a motion? Is there a second?
I'll second.
Excellent. So a motion and a second. Now we can get into discussion. I can give you, Cody can probably help a little bit. We did talk last month about the 5-star roofing, and I can tell you there's large holes on a roof. We are way past the warranty on the roof. 5-star commercial roofing gave us a bid for $51,050. This is the company that comes out of Indiana, and they call me or email me every day to check on it. When we looked through their reviews, they were not good. Not even a little bit good. They were 1-star rating on almost all of their reviews. And that is here. It's the Flex Star rubberized, and Polyflex is what they said they would do. Our building guy, Mark Hires, does not recommend that, doesn't think it will stand up to the flat roof necessity. The next one we have is My Property Revolution, yes. That bid came in at, there were 2 of them. Option 1 was $100,293.27 with a second option of a coating, which would just be about $60,000, $59,782. And that did not include a 30-year warranty. And
But
20-year warranty. The next one, Superior Services Roofing. This one has the Duralast roofing, and that is all the praise. Mark Hires said he would not do a roof, a commercial building without Duralast. It's the quality that comes with that. He did give us an initial bid of $69,216. That was for up to a 20-year warranty. I asked him about a 30-year warranty, and that would be an additional $6,800. So right around $76,000. This company only does commercial roofs. They go all over our state. I know that the assistant fire chief recommended them to us when we called. They came out the next day. They emailed this morning, asked if we had any final questions before our meeting tonight. They are currently working on several schools because they are the company that does a lot of the schools, but they would be available to do this by late summer, early fall, so end of August, early September. And they have very high ratings. And then the final bid, the fourth bid was CS Roofing. They do both residential and businesses. Their bid isn't very thorough. They did come out right away after the big storm when we had leaks all over the place. They also do a Duralast. In their bid is $85,997. And that is with a 30-year warranty. So that's about 10,000 more than what Superior would be. It's something we have to have. And as you could see in some of these pictures, there's big holes in our roof. And you can see there's some in here. The election closet has a garbage can in there right now with a garbage bag that's collecting rainwater. The fire bay, I've got a picture of it just pouring into the fire bay, and then our copy room over Lisa's desk in the clerk's office, and there's a small leak in the supervisor's office. So needing a new roof is essential.
And you were saying as far as the warranty that the warranty will be there.
Thank you for mentioning that. Yes, Superior said it's not, the warranty isn't just with them as a company, it's on the Duralast products. So even if, for instance, this company jumped ship and went out of business, the actual warranty is with Duralast, and they would get us, if necessary, in the 30 years, they would get us a local company to come and fix it.
Schedule wise, are all of them available immediately or?
Well, 5-star is, I'm certain of that. CS Roofing, I did not get when they'd be available. Superior, like I said, they would be available at the end of August, early September, and did
Property resolution is also it's usually about an 8 week lead time.
8 weeks.
Tracking, fixing color materials. And they're another one that their warranty is not through them specifically, it's through the type of roofing it is, so.
And the price would stay the same, even though they're gonna do it 2 or 3 months down the road.
It's, yeah,
Locked in. Okay.
yeah.
So I noticed on 2 of them that they came with new gutters. So that would solve another issue that we have with that heat strip and the holes drilled in the gutters.
Which two?
Elite. Elite, this one? What is this one?
It was
Yeah.
the one with 2
That's,
options, Superior, and
Superior.
then,
My property resolution.
Superior, my property resolution. Yeah. Those 2 both had gutters included.
Just I believe the higher of the bid for under.
It would be
Correct,
about
it's
$10,000
$100,000
more
Mhm.
than the Superior Roofing. And I think my property resolutions, they do both commercial and property owners, where Superior is strictly commercial properties. So they do roofs on commercial properties.
My question on Superior, the 6,800 extra, that's what we would pay to up that to the 30-year.
30-year warranty,
Warranty.
yeah.
And then my other question on CS Roofing on the addendum, additional decking is required at $50 installed. What? Is that a flat? It's
If
kind of open-ended.
it would be $50.
That'd be per decking piece.
Right.
So I guess that'd be how many decking will we have to have if that was the case?
Yeah, I don't think it's answered that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Says here. If we have to cover that.
Right.
Because we're already up to 85 on them. And all of these are half to start and not paid until final?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's pretty sure. Let me double check this 5-star one, but I'm pretty
I'm
sure
not
that's
looking
what
at
they
my-
said.
Okay, that's okay, no.
Okay,
I
good.
don't think any.
All right.
Mhm.
So there's a motion, that's been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? No. And now we need to decide which one.
I did some research myself and Superior and CS Roofing both have really, really good ratings.
Yeah.
Yeah, both of these, so, yeah. Mhm.
They both have add-ons too. That could occur.
Right.
But,
And they're open with that.
yeah, they're
Right.
open.
Mhm.
CS is showing a 50 mil, whereas the Superior is showing a 40. Just to see the difference there.
What is it? I don't know.
A little thickness,
Okay.
a little thickness in material. But I think more things are covered
Mhm.
under the Superior contract. Over the
Yeah.
CS.
Yeah, I do.
I like Superior.
And I noticed the CS doesn't appear to have the gutters attached either.
No.
Correct.
On there, unless the public schools let me down, Superior comes in at $76,016, so it comes in under their bid and has the gutters in it. Is that a trade-off for the thinner membrane? I'm not a roofer, so.
I'm not either. These bids were reviewed by our building official, by Mr. Hires. He highly recommended the Superior.
And he knew about the 40 to 50 ml difference.
I'm assuming he did.
You read through.
He did, okay. Yeah, I'm good with that, yeah.
We always had the warranty to fall back on it, but we did have.
Yeah. That's true.
So the discussion is leaning towards Superior. Are we all, do you wanna, who made the motion?
I'll make a motion for Superior for the 69.
So could we, I think trustee Meinke, you made the initial motion.
Mhm.
Would you like to change the motion to award the bid to Superior
Yeah.
Services
Yep.
for roof replacement? And then trustee Hoskins, I think you seconded that.
Yeah,
Are you
and
good
then,
with that?
yep, and we make sure we put in that 30-year, the extra
Yeah,
6,800
30 year
for
for
that,
sure.
30-year, yeah,
For $6,000 more, you get 10 more years. I mean, it's.
yeah, that's worth it,
Hey, I'd pay that.
yeah. Yeah, I like it.
All right. Roll call.
Clerk Baraco, yes. Treasurer Davis.
Yes.
Trustee McKay.
Yes.
Trustee Menke.
Yes.
Trustee Blanchard.
Yes,
Trustee Hoskins.
Yes,
Supervisor Cody.
Yes,
7 yes, motion carried.
excellent. Next on the agenda is a motion to purchase 2 48 niche columbariums and 4 benches.
Yeah.
Is there a motion? Yep, trustee, president. Second,
I'll second.
okay, discussion.
Well, we know we gotta do something out there. We're running out of property.
When would these funds be used?
These-
I'm worried about the budget for this year, but.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So we did allocate 100,000 towards this project last year
Okay.
from the
We
budget.
didn't spend it.
We didn't spend it for
No.
the cemetery. So it was allocated for this. I'm gonna show you a picture first. This is what it would look like. You have it in your packets. So this is a columbarium. And it holds 96. There are 96 niches in this. It's two-sided. So each one has two benches that also go with it.
And the total price for both is 43,000.
It's 43,000
And that's with the benches.
with the benches.
Really good deal, actually.
Hopefully that's for delivery too.
So the delivery included. The actual price is $43,092.20. And that's delivered from Canada. This, the goal of the vote right now is to hold the price on these units. They can be delivered in the fall. We still have a lot of work to do for placement, to figure out, to meet with the concrete people. Do we want to embed them amongst the other grave sites at the cemetery? Do we want to create a different site at the cemetery that is new, that maybe then you add on to, and you can have in going forward, you can add more grave spaces in the ground, and then maybe a pavilion, like something more? Do you want to create that? Or do we want them in two different places in the cemetery? Those are all things to look at, and looking for input from residents, looking for input from the board. We haven't met with any of the concrete people yet. So we'll
Have
be
a few
doing,
idea, few names.
right,
that,
and
yeah, to
and
get with.
Shannon, with you
Mhm.
being at Memorial Park forever, you have a lot of details. So this is basic today is just to firm the price in. to-
Well, we have to remember this price, if we don't lock that in soon, we have tariffs possibly coming soon. It's gonna raise this. If those do hit, so. So basically, it's just sealing in that number. We have it in the budget already. It's allocated. And then we can let them know our time allowance as far as concrete,
Correct.
things like that. So Nelson will hold that until we're ready.
And Nelson did bring a sample down from Canada and parked it in our parking lot, and several of us went out and looked at the different color options, and
Yeah.
he changed the doors, and whole process there. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's really pretty.
Well, and I think Mike was onto something. Maybe we could even put this on our website.
Oh, that's a good
Pictures
idea.
of this on the
That's a good
website,
idea.
so people can see what it looks like, what we're leaning towards, and get everybody's opinion on it, because
So
everybody's got a loved one out there.
we're noticing that more people are going towards cremains versus full burials. That's what we have. At the cemetery, we have 7,551 burial spaces. I don't know the percentage of full, but that's what we started with in that cemetery. So this will add additional spaces and before we fill up, but we'll keep you updated. This is just, if we
This
move
is
forward
option.
with this, it's the very, so if we move forward with this, then we will.
And they're really beautiful when you place them at such a solid place to really, that then with families.
So do people still get a stone to put on it? So there.
Also, there's two
their
options.
remains
I
are
think you can either
identified?
go with a bronze plate, they were talking, or the, what we do is we get them engraved. So we
Oh,
have a company, come on, any monument company comes in and engraves ours. And that's up to the owner of the niche to come in and do that, to call them and get everything, but you keep it uniformed. So they all look the same. As far as you can't put full birth dates, month, year. Usually people just do the date, the year they were born, the year they passed.
Okay.
So, because they're not really big.
They also have beautiful plaques that you can get
Mhm.
made.
Yeah, veteran
just going
ones
forward.
like that, yeah. Yeah, really nice. Mhm. Yeah. Very nice.
Any other discussion?
Just one, is this the only, have we looked to see if other companies make a similar device? Is this is this? I only asked because I wasn't involved in the initial discussions.
Mhm.
Is there a comparable product for less money?
There isn't. No, it's a really, really good price. With my place, as my place of employment, this is half. Really, it's a really good deal, yeah.
So I have a question. If there was enough money set aside last year and the price is locked in at this, should we order two?
This
That's
is
what
for
the
two.
motion
The
is,
double?
for two.
This is for
Okay.
two.
Two niches
The
and four
motion is
beds.
for two.
Okay.
We got concrete.
And then-
What do we do?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Underneath it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's it. You can just add on as you go throughout the years.
Okay.
That's good.
Mhm.
Okay, any other discussion? Do a roll call?
Trustee Blanchard,
Yes.
trustee McKay,
Yes.
supervisor Cody,
Yes.
clerk Baraco, yes. Trustee Hoskins,
Yes.
treasurer Davis.
Yes.
Trustee Menke,
Yes.
7 yes, motion carried.
All right, next is a motion to amend the sewer and water rates for 7/1/2025 to 6/30 of 2026, and that was resolution 5/13/25/16. Specifically,
This is remembered.
pardon?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Specifically, the City of Battle Creek flat rate sewer from 5912 to 4714 due to a clerical error. So on the water and sewer rates that we passed last month, beginning in July, the wrong amount was on that. It was marked as 4714 when the actual amount is 5912. So is there a motion?
And I asked last month, but
We can't discuss it until we have a motion and
I'll make a
second.
motion.
Okay,
second.
all right, now discussion.
All right, so now as I asked last month, this includes the small amount that we have to start saving up for problems, so it's not a big problem, right?
Yeah, so we basically had a study done for the rates, and somewhere along the line, they had our prices last year as wrong. So the price that we approved, thinking we had built in a cushion, is actually about $10 less than what should be approved. So we're essentially losing a few dollars per flat rate sewer household with what's approved currently.
Any other discussion? Okay, roll call.
Trustee McKay,
Yes.
clerk Baraco, yes. Trustee Menke,
Yes.
trustee Hoskins,
Yes.
supervisor Cody,
Yes.
trustee Blanchard,
Yes.
treasurer Davis. Yes. 7 yes, motion carried.
Okay. Next was an addition to the agenda. It's a motion for approval for trustee McKay to abstain from our ordinance, which is next on the agenda. Under,
Can I make a slight correction?
you can
The correct terminology is excuse,
excuse not
Yeah,
according
abstain.
to our attorneys. So,
Okay,
and we have to have the Charter Township Board to approve it for a member to be excused.
got it.
And the reason, of course, is because
You live right there.
I'm within the zone of influence, so to speak.
All right. Is there a motion
I'll make a motion.
and a second? All right, any discussion?
Anybody have any questions?
So as somebody within the zone of influence, how does it affect you?
Doesn't really affect me personally, but I'm within a certain number of feet, I believe 500 feet of their property line. And everybody in that zone of influence was sent notification of this project.
Mhm.
And I did receive notification of the project. But as a trustee, I cannot vote on the project.
Yes.
And I actually have to
Yeah.
leave. When you discuss this, I have to leave.
You only have to leave the table, don't you?
Yes,
Yeah, that's what I
I go
thought.
sit up there.
Okay, so the motion with approval can be a voice vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next on the agenda is petitions and new business. A would be the ordinance amending Bedford Charter Township Ordinance number 10-898-34 as amended by ordinance number 8907-39. An ordinance to amend ordinance number, 10-838-34 titled the Groundwater Wells Ordinance 10-898-34 as amended by ordinance 8907-39 to add provisions to cap private wells by agreement, to provide for severability, to repeal all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict therewith, and to provide an effective date. Motion.
I move.
And is there a second?
Okay.
All right, any discussion on this? This is the one we did the first reading on last month.
Yeah.
So this would be the final ordinance.
To make it official. This is River Road Water Project is having, they have one holdout of capping the well. So this is to prevent that going forward. Should we have other water, then they would fall under this ordinance.
What is the update on that person?
Well, I mean, we can't, he's still holding out.
Yeah.
This allows us to enforce it a little bit more since he did sign the agreement.
Right.
Almost 2 years ago now at this point.
Right.
The main issue being is until all those wells are capped, we can't finalize this project. Because, you know, the companies will be paid once it's finalized, everything that goes along with finalizing the project. Kind of just in.
So this will be beyond legal. Now it could be more enforced.
Yep.
Okay.
Any other discussion?
Just for the gathered people and those on video, we did verify that nobody was forced or coerced into this agreement. Everybody entered into this of their own volition with knowledge that they would have to cap the wells.
Yep. Whether they read the full agreement, I can't speak to that, but they signed the full agreement to get hooked up to the city water for free. And as a requirement of that was the cap their wells.
Roll call?
Treasurer Davis,
Yes.
trustee Menke,
Yes.
trustee Blanchard,
Yes.
trustee Hoskins,
Yeah.
supervisor Cody,
Yes.
clerk Bronco. Yes, 6 yes, motion carried.
All right. Next is resolution 7/8/25/21. I think this is the one that you were,
This is when you're,
this is the
Oh.
one that you, yeah,
Oh, I could have stayed for that.
yeah.
Oh, well. I'll go this way this time.
This is resolution 7/08/25/21. Whereas on or around October 10th, 2024, the Charter Township of Bedford, or the township, received an application for a special land use permit application and site plan review from Consumers Energy. Consumers. I'm doing all of these. These came directly from our lawyer. For a solar energy system, utility grade titled Spring Creek Solar Facility Solar Energy System Project. The project is consisting of 449 acres of the following parcel located within the township. And whereas the Township Planning Commission held a duly noticed public hearing in compliance with the Open Meetings Act on June 4th, 2025, to consider the application and to receive input from the public, consumers, and other stakeholders. And whereas the Planning Commission reviewed the Special Land Use Standards Review and additional criteria for review of granting special land use and site plan approval consumers application. And whereas the Planning Commission prepared a findings of fact with conditions of approval and unanimously voted to recommend approval of the same to the Township Board of Trustees. And whereas the Township Board of Trustees reviewed the application meeting minutes, the finding of facts and conditions of approval, and determined that the same complies with the applicable provisions of the township zoning ordinance and finds that the consumer's application is approved. Now therefore it is resolved that number one, the township board adopts and approves consumer's application by and through the planning commission's finding of fact and attaches conditions of approval. Number two, all resolutions or parts of resolutions in conflict herewith shall be and the same are hereby rescinded, but only to the extent of any such conflict. There a motion?
So move.
Okay.
Second.
Discussion. Okay, roll call?
Trustee Blanchard,
Yes.
trustee Hoskins,
Yes.
trustee Mike,
Yes.
clerk Bracco, yes. Treasurer Davis,
Yes.
supervisor Godey,
Yes.
7 yes, motion carried.
6, yeah.
6, yeah.
Oh, excuse me, 6.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Now you can come back, Jean. Did he ditch us?
Kinda ran.
Pardon me.
All right, next on the agenda is resolution 708-2522. Whereas the Charter Township of Bedford establishes the position of office manager / zoning administrator with a beginning pay rate of $59,250 per annum. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All right. Discussion. So I, looked through, we used to have a superintendent that had, some functions, the functions of the supervisor. We no longer do have that. We did pay out to our former superintendent and that is up. So we are not paying that person any longer. There are things, I do have a full-time job. There are things that I can't do, which is why we swore in Deputy Supervisor Cody McCarty. He's been a wonderful help to me. But we do need some type of office manager here. And this is what we came up with. This went through our attorney and talked with our deputy supervisor. In this job description, it says if they're a deputy supervisor, they would conduct all township business in the absence of the township supervisor, which is what the law says, that a deputy supervisor's responsibilities are. So it's not mandatory that this person would have that, but that is in there. I know there were a couple things that the township records in accordance with the retention laws is the clerk's job.
Accounts payable. Under financial.
What was that, Joyce? Sorry.
The accounts payable. Under financial clerical support. That's clerk, Christie had some, oh, the handle,
Clerk, is that? Okay.
handles the payroll, that's clerical, clerk.
Right. Some of it is the treasurer's,
Some of what?
the
Payroll.
payroll stuff.
What do you do
also-
on payroll?
I'm the one that transfers all the money to make sure that the accounts are set correct.
But this person, we could change handle to manages, or they have to sign the payroll, correct?
Who signs payroll?
That's what I've been doing.
There,
It's
the
like
time,
payroll.
timesheets, which is different than payroll. You approve their timesheets
Okay,
for the,
So Terry, you approve payroll.
time
right?
reporting
No, I-
duties, and that was as needed, is what it says there.
You
on
do,
that
Joyce?
line.
she approves timesheets. I do the payroll.
Okay.
Can I make a comment while you ponder?
Of course.
I'm associated with a previous township,
Mhm.
and they did things a little differently. Smaller township, Ross Township. The time I was there, they did have an office manager. But both deputies were part-time. And their structure of their building was a little different. Instead of having what I call individual pods, they had a centralized window where everybody, came up or waited on whoever needed them. The office manager did a variety of things, but the deputies and the office manager exchanged a lot of work. So depending upon who appeared, a deputy may fill in for certain limited resources for whatever the office manager was assigned to do, or the clerk, or the treasurer. So for example, somebody drops off an application for voter registration. The deputy treasurer couldn't process that application, but they could accept it on behalf of the clerk or the deputy clerk who was not present at the time. There was more of an exchange going on in that environment.
They work together.
Yeah. Now, granted, geographically, their office was arranged differently, and it's a smaller township. I'm just having a little bit of trouble with the office manager idea in relation to our structure here. I guess I just need to study it some more, and I need to understand exactly what this office manager is going to do procedurally before I can, make a decision on it one way or another. I just need to get a little bit more into the weeds of it.
Okay.
And I'm just not comfortable right now. I mean, I'm not necessarily opposed to it, but I need to know exactly what they're going to do in relation to our clerks, our treasurer, our deputies, and all the other people here.
So I don't know. I know the law is pretty clear about the clerk and the deputy clerk and the treasurer and the deputy treasurer, their own entity,
Right.
that none of us can do any of their job.
No.
Only the deputies can do their job.
And that's where you're saying they can accept the paperwork, they just
Yeah,
can't
they can't
process it.
I know.
process.
I mean, that
Yeah.
would have to be,
Mhm.
we'd have to have that in a policy.
And that's
That wouldn't be
the thing I'm getting at.
something
the
that
office
would be.
manager. We need to know what that person's authority is. What is it that they're going to do?
So,
Yeah.
may I see it?
Of course.
So when I looked at it, I can see the effectiveness of having an office manager. I can see that as something that would bring the continuance through. But my vision was, and I just straight up Googled this, it was overseeing daily operations, managing support staff, coordinating essential services, and implementing systems to maximize efficiency. That was my thought of, and that's how I see an office manager, which it relates to this to some degree. But I can see the position as a win. I think taking out the statutory duties from this is helpful. But that's more of the vision I have, which crosses over to a lot of the vision that's on here. So just,
So
Yeah.
my curiosity is, how does this position differ greatly from the superintendent position that we just voted to abolish?
So the superintendent was responsible for A through O, which is listed in the legislation for the supervisor. That A through O in the legislation can be turned over to a superintendent. This role would not be that. This role would be the office manager and zoning administrator. I know that, I think Mike said he was concerned about that. I did talk to Cody quite a bit about this. He reviewed it and agreed with everything in here that they could do it. That is why the next resolution is on this agenda for part-time permitting specialists.
Would
So
this go out for bid? I mean, we would do.
Well, that
we
would be up
obviously,
to us to decide,
Yeah.
right?
we'd have to do interviews and stuff for this position. Is that where we're, I don't understand, I mean, I get them on this position, is it gonna be open to the public? I don't know.
So it certainly, we can do that.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think Jean's right, could be a really big job for somebody. And the details are really, really super important for this job.
Okay. Any other discussion? So the motion was for a resolution to establish this position. The roll call?
So we're establishing the position and figuring out the details later. Is that what I'm understanding?
We had a motion and a second on what the resolution was listed.
So are we deciding on a hire? I mean, I guess I'm confused.
That is-
That's what I want to.
I mean, I'm assuming there's more no votes than yes by this discussion, right?
Well, I don't know until we put that
As
out
it's
there,
written.
but I guess we need to know what we're voting. Are we voting for this position to go into intact immediately, or are we opening it up for bids? I'm lost. I guess I'm confused on that part. I don't know.
Okay. So that's what the discussion is about.
Well, we eliminated the statutory things that shouldn't have been in there,
Mm-hmm,
and that helps.
mm-hmm.
I just need more detail.
Yeah.
I just need more detail.
Okay.
I need more understanding of all the responsibilities of this person. I mean, I understand the zoning side. I understand that side. I just need to understand more about the office management, because when you look at who's this person gonna supervise? We got 2 people, right?
2 people, what?
That they're gonna supervise?
Would it be the sexton?
Yeah. I'm guessing.
Well, that's where I think we can start. Maybe even, how about, can we have a special meeting? Like to have more discussion, because we really haven't discussed
We
this
can, or
on
we
that.
can table it to next
Yeah.
meeting.
Well, I think we should have a special meeting because we need
Yeah,
to
we just
move
need to
forward.
clarify.
Yeah, just clarification and then open it to the public. They can come and give us ideas and things, and then we'll have a little more understanding of how this is moving forward.
So who did the motion?
It was moved by Shannon.
So do you want
Supported by-
to table this for next month, or do you wanna?
I'd like to see us do a special meeting if we can.
Okay,
I think we need to open discussion sooner than later.
it still would be tabled for
Mhm.
this meeting.
Table it now, yep, but then we'll schedule that. And then it would be put to public to come in for input.
Or we can just talk about it.
Yeah, we're gonna have a special meeting for the fire
Yeah.
chief interviews,
Oh, we are.
so
That's next week.
next week.
Well, then maybe we could just do it at the next meeting and we'll.
So the
table it.
motion to table.
Yes,
It is tabled.
For
No.
next month.
yeah,
Table
we'll table
for
it to
next.
next month, since we got the,
So, with that, we'll do a roll call to table this
Okay.
till next time.
Trustee Hoskins.
yes.
Trustee Monkey.
Yes.
Clerk Baraco, yes. Treasurer Davis.
Yes.
Supervisor Bodie.
Yes.
Trustee McKay.
Yes.
Trustee Blanchard.
Yes.
7 yes. Motion table.
So the next thing on the agenda, resolution 7082523. Whereas the Charter Township of Bedford establishes the part-time position of permitting specialist with an hourly rate of $21 and 18 hours per week work schedule.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All right, discussion.
I think we should table this too.
I was just gonna
Okay.
ask,
Yeah.
are we going?
All right.
Totally agree.
Any other discussion? Right, roll call?
Trustee Menke,
Yes.
Clerk Baraco, yes. Treasurer Davis.
Yes.
Trustee McKay,
Yes.
Supervisor Godey,
Yes.
Trustee Blanchard,
Yes.
Trustee Hoskins,
Yes.
7 yes to table.
All right, next on the agenda is public comment. I will just make a reminder that the rules are posted for public, out in the lobby.
A couple of things, just like to, I guess, thank you guys for the good discussion there. I mean, there was a lot of back and forth, which is good, as far as that goes. Just to touch on the Officer Valley, Kirby Road incident, our police department did a great job. I was actually working in the area and, was shocked and pleasantly surprised when I looked up and there was 5 officers and, canines and, their communication was excellent, with the residents that were also out in the neighborhood. So great job to you guys, as far as that goes. As far as the fire department goes and, the CPR initiative, I think that's a great thing. Those seconds do matter and not enough people know, and you don't know you need it until you do. So that's great that you guys are doing that. Back to the mileage in the car, it was stated that it was $8,000 over the last roughly year and a half, 18 months, but $444 or whatever. We've kind of admitted that our record keeping on that is not good. So, I mean, again, we really need to drill down on that and see what was training, what wasn't training, what was budgeted, what wasn't budgeted, and have a policy that we enforce as far as that goes. But more importantly on that, if it's a blight issue, there's fees attached to that with the tickets. So, maybe a quick way to do it would be to, adjust our fee structure. As far as that, I as a resident would have a really tough time saying we're going to get a company vehicle and spend $1, let alone thousands, tens of thousands of dollars to have a blight official enforce blight. So the residents are now paying for something that should be associated with a ticket and a fine. In that sense, so that's paid for by itself theoretically. Residents shouldn't have to pay for that. At least that's my view. And then I really liked the discussion on the new role, and I definitely look forward to seeing some more information on that. I mean, I think the elephant in the room here, though, is that we are not addressing the supervisor's pay because they're still going to have statutory duties that we're not going to give away. I mean, Terry does have a full-time job. I would jump right on that bandwagon behind her. I have a full-time job, and there are things that, I don't have statutory duties as the planning chair, but there are things that have to be done by the chair, that take time. Certainly the supervisor has statutory duties that, are, we never really addressed that, this will be our third swing at this now. We've never really addressed that. So I hope that, not to put you in the hot seat, Terry.
No, I think if you
But
don't,
I hope that we see some form of discussion there, so all forms of leadership can be supported in the correct way so that there's compensation and whatnot. And there's hopefully stability moving forward. And that way, the next election cycle, what you're theoretically getting into.
thanks, Mike.
Yeah.
Any other comments, public comments?
Oh, again. Glad it was tabled, at least for now, the new positions. But now, going forward, it would be nice, you said something about a special meeting, possibly a special meeting, not a special meeting. Also about a special meeting for fire chief. I'd like to see to make sure that we have those announcements done in all locations. Now, a couple meetings ago, there was a vote to use or not use Facebook. Now, here tonight, we have an admittance that many people use Facebook. We did vote to use Facebook, but then thereafter, we had special meetings and several things that were not at all posted onto Facebook. I mean, so it's like, yeah, we'll say we're gonna use it, but we're just not gonna use it. Again, it's not even, it should be an open forum. That's really like going to the township hall. We need to open up the comments on those posts. That is a section that a lot of ideas and other things can be done. I know it's turned off simply because the people up here don't like the things that were said because there's truth that's shared. Because we've had boards up here that have lied, straight up lied, manipulated. That's just true. Some of you weren't here, some of you were here. Now we have someone has a full-time job that's in the position of supervisor. It's not here at all. I was recalled. Part of that recall was that I was not spending time here at the township. That I didn't fulfill my duties of the job. Which was actual horse pucking. Joyce knows that. Joyce knows that I'm the only supervisor in the last 5 preceding me. Now that actually had a stack of ideas. That were my ideas. That was why I was elected, because I had been elected after 30 plus years of the same old things going on. Things like the planning commission being run illegally against the planning commission or the Open Meetings Act. But you all just defame me, try to prosecute me, of which I was found not guilty of. Thank you. Because you all think you can control our speech here by some rules. And you then think you can make us angry and then tell us that we can't be upset here at the time when we are to be addressing you. But you'll learn what the law really says.
Anyone else have any public comment? Here he comes.
Yes. 8 days I've been retired from this department after 58 years of runs, many runs. Way over 40,000 times I've run across M37 to get a truck and run out on something. So I made a lot of runs. When I got out of the department, we had some older trucks and stuff on there, and a lot of problems with them, breaking down parts went on. And the first new truck we got was in 1979. That was an engine that we got and put in #1 station. And I guess I might call that was my baby, because I made a lot of runs with that, a lot of house fires, car fires, even some field fires stuff. And as the years rolled on, 2003, we bought 6 new vehicles. And we was just under $1 million for those 6 vehicles. Right now, it will cost you $1 million for an engine if you go out here and buy one like you've got out here. We have some trucks right now that are bought back in 2003. They should be replaced. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that should be replaced. We got a station that needs to be rebuilt out in #1 village out there and stuff coming up. But anyway, I would like to thank the board here, those involved into giving the reception for me at the dinner there and everything. Well, a lot of food, a lot of people come there. I had a great time. Pictures were taken. Shopper came on out and interviewed myself here and stuff and took a picture and stuff. It was coming in and it was Thursday, this last Thursday. I went down today and picked up a couple of dozen of them, and so I'll autograph them if anybody wants.
We need one on the wall.
Burned on the wall or something, but whatever. Anyway, I would like to thank all of you for the time and the years that rolled by. I have been through, like I say, 8 or 9 supervisors over the years since I started becoming the fire department, and my position was advancement every year from regular firefighter up to lieutenant, captain, assistant chief, and then finally 21 years as chief. You are going to go get a new chief now, new procedure that is going on now that has to be dealt with to acquire the chief, I understand. So I hope you look at somebody within the department that is familiar with the township, familiar with the boys and guys, girls they work with on the department, because we do have a couple, 3 ladies now on the department. I trust that you, when you go to interview whomever they are and stuff, take real close look at them and see their qualifications and stuff and how they work with the individuals in the department. You have a good fire department in this township right now. And like I say, it needs to be things replaced, but that's gonna have to take time. But the guys you have right now know what to do, and they are good and stuff, and you can trust them and stuff. So when you pick your chief, make sure he knows what's going, and you have somebody on the department right here that can handle that position. Nobody has asked me, and if you want to know who I would recommend, I would tell you off to the side someplace, but right now at the time, I would not mention no names and stuff, anything on it, but thank you for your time, everything, so.
I did ask you. You forgot our conversation, apparently. Any other public comment? Hi.
Jonathan McAlexander. I recently just moved to the community, over here on Yuldrix. I talked with Cody a couple times now, but, so the end of Cook Ave ends right at the, corner of my property. And talking to Cody, have talked to the county a couple times, trying to figure out easement off of that road. I had to drive a vehicle back there because I'm gonna do some maintenance on it. And the neighbor behind me had complaint, called the police department out. They're very gracious, very accommodating. And I just want to bring it to your attention of where is that easement? Where is it considered public roadway? Where is it considered private drive? And I'm gonna be going to the county tomorrow to figure out where property line for me ends and where they consider the road maintenance, well, public access ends. And if you could offer any assistance on this, it would be greatly appreciated.
Certainly, we'll look into it. Can I get your name and number? Do you want to come up and write it down for me? All right. Without announcing it to the whole world. So,
It's
yeah,
appreciated.
right there.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
You'll hear back. All right, any other public comments? All right, next on the agenda is elected officials and trustees' personal privilege. Trustee Meineke.
Thanks everybody for coming. Every month we're getting bigger and more people coming, and that's what we need. We had some good discussion. We're gonna have more coming up, so. Come to the next meeting and see where we go. That's it.
Thank you. Trustee Blanchard.
Again, thank you. I appreciate the decorum and the discussion at the meeting. You know, I am looking forward to the public comments on the new positions as we ponder those and we make sure that we're making the right decision for the township. You know, with the talk about the vehicle, I'm all for expenditures that make sense. The columbarium takes property that we don't have more of and makes better use of it. That makes sense. I really want to see the vehicle broken down in such a manner that we can define a savings on it. Or else I would be hard pressed to be in support of it.
Careful how you word that. Breakdown in car, you don't want to put those in the same
Fair
sentence,
enough,
right?
fair enough. Let's not put that into the world.
Trustee McKay?
Well, first, thank everybody that's here and on TV, for coming. I also want to remind everybody about the CPR training. I've had CPR training for, I'm not gonna say how many years. It's evolved considerably from what I was initially trained on to today. And what you just mentioned today was something new that I had never heard before. So if you can get CPR training, please do so. And brush up if you've had it like me. I've had to have it every 3 years for I don't know how many years, but, and then they changed it to 2 years and then they changed it to 1 year. But in any case, if you can get it and it's available, please get the CPR training.
New standards are coming out this fall,
I know.
every 5 years. Yeah. Trustee Hoskins?
Yes, thank you. I would just like to say, as far as posts on Facebook, I know we're looking into MTA to see if those posts can be opened up, correct, on the website for the Facebook page,
Facebook or website?
the Facebook page.
On the
So
Facebook
the
page.
comment, we were talking MTA and that was something we were gonna look into.
We already did. We
Okay.
had quite the class at the MTA conference. You can block comments. Once a post has been made,
Mhm.
you can block any comments. When we post on Facebook, it really is for information only.
Mhm.
If, however, someone has made a comment before you're able to block it, then you obviously can't block it because that would be a violation.
Cause it's there already.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
a
Okay.
First Amendment violation.
Mhm.
So comments don't bother me personally.
Mhm.
We do our Facebook page. A lot of our elderly people go to our Facebook page for information.
Mhm.
And some comments are pretty offensive and it bothers them. So it doesn't matter to me at all, whether we allow comments or we block comments.
Mhm.
But that's why, and that was the stance at the conference. They made it
Yeah.
clear, if you block them after you've posted it before any comments are made, that's fine.
Mhm.
But if there is even one comment made, you cannot then block
Okay, that's another
that
forever.
post.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and really, that would be the only time we're gonna post anything on Facebook would be announcements and informational stuff, because as we learned, a lot of people rely on our Facebook posts.
Yeah, and we just have to make
Yeah.
sure the Facebook and the website are kind of getting the same.
Right.
Same things. And the other thing, we're all elected here and, I just think working together, we're all gonna agree to disagree, but working together and getting all this worked out as far as positions, things like that, I think that we're gonna move forward with it. And get something that will work for everybody. Thank you.
Treasurer Davis?
Thanks everyone for coming, and I just want to say thank you again, Chief, for your years of service.
Clerk Bracco?
I do appreciate the back and forth and everyone's view coming out at the table. That's a nice change. So that in mind, thank you for voting for the columbarium.
All right. Well, if there's nothing else, call this meeting to close. 20:04, 8:04 I've got. Have a good week, everyone. Have a good month.